Why is space so silent? You might imagine stars roaring like giant bonfires and planets beating like cosmic drums. Yet, millions of miles from Earth, there is complete silence. The reason behind this cosmic silence will surprise you. Asterisk for sound to exist, waves must vibrate through a medium like air or water. On Earth, this is how we hear voices, music, and even the rustle of grass. But in space, there is no air, only endless emptiness. That's why sound simply disappears there. Asterisk sound is energy that pushes molecules against each other. Without molecules, waves cannot spread. Space is nearly a perfect vacuum, where molecules are far too rare. That's why even a star's explosion makes no sound. Asterisk sometimes scientists say they have heard space, but it's not real sound, it's translated data. Vibrations and radio waves are converted into frequencies we can hear. This is how strange cosmic melodies are born. Asterisk black holes, pulsars, and quasars all emit signals. We translate them, and they turn into unusual sounds. This allows us to listen to space, even though it is silent. These sounds help us understand the nature of the universe. Asterisk if space were filled with air, everything would be different. We would hear the roar of stars, the rumble of planets, and the crash of asteroids. The universe would be unbearably noisy. But silence is part of its majesty. Asterisk in reality, space does have gas molecules. They form thin clouds stretching across light years. But the density is so low that sound waves vanish instantly. This silence is absolute and cold. Asterisk the silence of space makes it even more mysterious. We witness supernova explosions, colliding galaxies, and the birth of stars. Yet all of it happens in perfect silence, as if the universe keeps its secrets without a single word. Asterisk the human ear is used to Earth's noise. We hear wind, rain, and the voices of people. But in space, there are no familiar sounds, only the heartbeat inside a spacesuit. This contrast makes the silence even stronger. Asterisk when astronauts step into open space, they hear only their own breathing. The helmet becomes their only window into the silent world. Any sound comes only through suit vibrations and radio signals. Everything else is eternal. Silent emptiness. To transmit sound in space, humans invented radio signals. They are not like ordinary voices, but converted into electromagnetic waves. This way, astronauts can speak to each other in orbit. Without it, silence would make spaceflight impossible. Asterisk imagine flying near a massive solar flare. It looks like an explosion of unimaginable power, yet your ears would hear nothing. Light and energy travel on, but sound vanishes in the void. That's why space movies deceive our ears. In reality, spaceship explosions would be silent, but filmmakers add booming sounds for the audience. Otherwise, the movie would feel too empty. Asterisk scientists have even created special simulations of space sounds. They use telescope data and turn it into music. These songs of galaxies are both mesmerizing and eerie, a reminder that cosmic silence hides astonishing secrets. Asterisk and yet silence does not mean emptiness. Space is full of motion, energy, and light. It speaks to us through signals we've learned to decode, and each signal brings us closer to understanding the universe. Asterisk even in the absolute silence of space, humans carry inner sound. The heart beats, breathing fills the helmet, blood hums in the ears. These sounds become an astronaut's only companions. They remind us we are alive among dead silence. Asterisk sometimes silence itself becomes a heavy challenge. In space, the brain searches for familiar sounds. Their absence can trigger anxiety and loneliness. Thus, silence becomes another barrier to conquering the universe. Asterisk yet this silence also brings a unique peace. Astronauts say the feeling of space is like meditation. No noise of machines, no voices of crowds, only the infinite universe and you. Asterisk space is silent, yet full of signals we are learning to understand. Every radio hiss, every wave carries information. From these quiet messages, we build a map of the universe, and step by step, we move closer to its secrets. Asterisk so why is there no sound in space? Because sound is a wave. and the wave needs a medium. In the emptiness of a vacuum, it cannot exist, and still, the silence of space is the greatest music of the universe. Asterisk, some sounds in space can only be heard through instruments. For example, Jupiter's radio signals sound like a massive electric storm. Scientists convert this data into audible frequencies, and a new voice of the planet is revealed. Asterisk, in the same way, we listen to pulsars. These neutron stars spin so fast that they send signals like beacons. When converted, they resemble the beat of a cosmic drum. Each pulse is the heartbeat of a distant universe. Asterisk, space may seem silent, but it is full of energy. This energy spreads as light, heat, and radiation. We don't hear it, but instruments capture every motion. Thanks to this, we can listen to what our ears cannot detect. Asterisk, now imagine a future where we translate cosmic silence into music. Each galaxy becomes a melody, each star a chord. It would be a symphony written by the universe itself, and we would be the first listeners of its eternal concert. Asterisk, for now, space remains a place of absolute silence. This silence is both frightening and inspiring. It reminds us how tiny our planet is, and how much we still have to learn. Asterisk, in ancient times, people looked at the stars and thought they sang. Myths and legends gave the sky the voices of gods. Today we know, stars are silent, yet in their light, there is still music, the music of science. Asterisk, if space had sound, the universe would be completely different. Sound would block light from traveling through space. We couldn't see distant galaxies, and perhaps we would never even know they existed. Asterisk, in the silence of space, we've discovered thousands of exoplanets. Their signals arrive as faint changes in starlight. Without silence, we might have missed them. Thus, silence has become our ally. Asterisk, every radio wave from the depths of space is a whisper from the past. Signals travel for millions of years before reaching Earth. We hear events that happened long before humans existed, and that makes cosmic silence even more mysterious. Asterisk, the silence of space teaches us to listen differently, not with ears, but with instruments, attention, and imagination. We hear the universe through data and discoveries, and that makes its music eternal. Asterisk, some scientists believe that space is silent only to our ears. Vibrations do exist, but they are far too faint to perceive. We transform them into signals and hear them in a special way. Thus, the universe speaks to us in its own language. Asterisk, through cosmic silence, we discover gravitational waves. They are born when black holes and neutron stars collide. We cannot hear them directly, but we sense their vibrations. It is like an echo from the depths of time. Asterisk, every new discovery shows us that silence is not emptiness. It is a space full of signals waiting to be decoded. Sound is out of reach, but information is endless, and within it lies the greatness of the universe. Asterisk, and yet for humans, space remains a silent theater. We see its wonders, but we do not hear them. This forces us to rely not on hearing, but on vision and reason. Thus, we learn to understand the world in a new way. Asterisk, the silence of space makes it majestic. Where there is no sound, there is room for imagination. Every glance at the stars sparks new questions, and in this silence, we find inspiration for the future. Asterisk, when we gaze into space, silence becomes part of its beauty. Without it, stars would not appear so mysterious. It makes every supernova explosion more majestic, and every planetary motion a silent dance. Asterisk, space reminds us that sound is only one form of perception. We can hear only on Earth, but we can see everywhere. Our eyes and instruments reveal what ears cannot detect. This makes us explorers of silence. Asterisk, within the silence of space lies its true power. The energy of stars, the motion of galaxies, the breath of black holes. They make no sound, yet their influence is colossal. We live in a world where silence is louder than any scream. Asterisk, that is why space is a place where silence becomes the language of the universe. Every flash of light is its word, every nebula is its sentence, and galaxies together form a story written without sound. Asterisk, we listen to this silence with instruments, eyes, and heart. It reveals to us the greatness and mystery of existence, and reminds us that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Thus, space teaches us to value not sound, but meaning. Asterisk, the silence of space is both a challenge for science and an inspiration for art. Scientists explore it with instruments, while artists and musicians explore it with imagination. Everyone sees something different in it, and within this silence, new discoveries and ideas are born. Asterisk, for astronauts, silence becomes part of their inner world. They learn to find calmness and strength within it. Every breath and every heartbeat becomes more noticeable, and space feels like a temple without sound. Asterisk, the silence of the universe is not emptiness, but a chance to hear ourselves. Against this mute infinity, humans realize their fragility, and at the same time, their strength as explorers. Silence makes us more attentive to what truly matters. Asterisk, that is why space teaches us to value silence. It holds secrets we are only beginning to uncover. It makes us more humble and wiser, and reminds us, sometimes silence is the loudest sound of all. Asterisk, we send probes farther into the depths of space. They do not bring us sound, but they carry light and data. Each signal is a fragment of the universe's history, and silence makes these signals even more precious. Asterisk, when we look at the stars, we see the past. Light travels to us for millions of years, and silence becomes a bridge between eras. We are witnesses to ancient history, and without words. Asterisk, the silence of space reminds us of our uniqueness. On Earth, we are surrounded by sounds found nowhere else. The whisper of wind, the crash of waves, the laughter of people. It is music the universe itself does not know. Asterisk, and perhaps that is why we search for life in the universe. We hope to one day hear another voice, not for sound itself, but for the knowledge we are not alone, that silence may be broken by meeting someone new. Asterisk, but for now, space keeps its silence, and we learn to read its signs: light, shadows, and data. This silence calls us to explore further, and every step reveals infinity. Asterisk, so why is there no sound in space? Because silence is its language. Within it lie the stories of billions of years, and by listening to this silence, we hear the universe itself.